And we're back. Sorry, Kenny, for stealing your intro. How are you guys doing? It's been a good week. I hope it's been good. It's been good for me. We're going to address the elephant in the room. We just hit 100 subscribers. Clap it up for me, obviously. But on a real note, thank you guys so much. I know 100 is like a small number in retrospective, but it's a number I didn't think I'd ever get to. So this is so crazy to me. 100 subscriber special. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. I don't take any of y'all for granted. You guys are all my day ones. But anyways, if you guys have been on TikTok, Instagram, literally any form of social media recently, you have definitely heard of Netspend or Osa Mason or Two Hollis. All of those like category of people. That style of hip hop has been going very viral as of late. Ever since all of Opium started with Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely and people like that, the underground scene of that style of hip hop has been blowing up exponentially. And because of this, it started to make me think. Now, I'm not the biggest Netspend or Two Hollis fan. That style of rap isn't really my thing. I see the appeal, but that's just not really the type of music that I listen to. But the underground scene for that, if you can even call it that anymore, is going crazy. And since my small artist videos have been doing well, I wanted to show you guys a side of the underground hip hop scene that isn't as talked about as these ones. The kind with really thought out lyricism and jazzy beats and just old school sampling, chopping, all that good stuff. Think Griselda, think The Alchemist, think Griselda again. There's a whole section of underground hip hop that doesn't get talked about nearly as much and needs to, with people that do music kind of like that. So today I want to show you guys 3 artists from that scene that I think have been making insane moves and that you guys should be listening to. We're gonna go from highest monthly listeners to lowest, and hopefully you guys come out of this video with a new artist that you like. And real quick before we continue, my name's Henry, I love music, and this is where I talk about it. If you're new to the channel, this is your first time seeing me, consider subscribing. It's free. You can always change your mind later if you really decide that you don't like me. I upload on here once a week, so if you want to see these videos right when I drop them, enable notifications, and you won't miss anything. But anyways, let's get back to the video. Thank you guys for watching. As we're getting into talking about these artists, I do want to make a quick note that this info may not be 100% accurate. Because these artists aren't super mainstream, they don't have like Wikipedia articles or stuff like that. So this is all going off of their Instagram, all going off of interviews they've had, stuff like that. So there is room for missing info or just, I may get some stuff wrong. Unlike mainstream artists, like I said, they don't have a Wikipedia article I could just go to. And if that were the case, I wouldn't need to be making this video. You guys would just be able to Google them and read their entire life story. So if you know these artists or you are these artists and I missed anything, feel free to let me know. Alright, we're gonna start with definitely the most popular on this list, I think, Lexa Gates. I've seen a lot of Lexa recently. I've seen a bunch of her TikToks come across my For You page and a lot of her reels where she has her song playing in the background and then like dances, and that is actually how I found out about her. So the marketing is working. According to the Good Talk website, Lexa Gates, born and raised in Queens, New York, is a singer-songwriter, rapper, and producer. The multifaceted artist has been composing melodies and singing songs since the ripe age of 9. Lexa first took her talents to SoundCloud, dropping her debut tracks in 2019, which were followed by full bodies of work, her latest titled Universe Wrapped in Flesh. The most recent song to date, Angel, began to pick up the most traction for the New York native, garnering a large following and fan base. Lexa's bold and ambitious style of expression keeps listeners constantly on their toes and excited for her bright future ahead. So I will say, this isn't 100% accurate off the bat. I'm guessing this was last updated in like 2023, because that's when Angel came out. She's released 4 singles since then. So No, good talk, get on that, I guess. Lexa's Spotify discography spans over 4 years. She started in 2020 and her most recent drop was the song Provider, which she released in August. Her SoundCloud, however, goes all the way back to 2017, so she's been doing this for a while. I'm always a big fan of people who have come from SoundCloud to Spotify, or just like mainstream music streaming platforms in general, just because it shows how dedicated they've been to this craft. Being able to say you started by uploading music to SoundCloud, and then now Lexa having like fully fleshed out albums and insanely produced tracks is very cool to me. Lexa's style is very much, like I said in the intro, very similar to something that you'd find in Griselda, and my favorite song of hers is most definitely Lately Nothing, which in my opinion has a lot of the style that I was talking about. Now, even though I am referring to her as underground or like not huge, she is still a pretty popular artist. If you're familiar with On the Radar Radio, she's been on there. If you're not familiar with it, it's those reels that you see with a green background and someone freestyling in front of it. She was on there and absolutely killed it. But Lexa just has such a beautiful and like well fleshed out discography. To my knowledge, and I could be wrong, I don't think she has any features. I'm scrolling through her Spotify right now just to make sure. Oh, I lied. Lately Nothing does have a feature. And so does I Just Can't Be Alone, which is another one of her really good songs. But what I mean by that is her career is largely just her. And she's been able to garner, 250,000 monthly listeners with it? That is insanely respectable. And with this caliber of lyricism and production, she 100% deserves more. Her next album, Elite Vessel, is set to release on October 18th, and she has already announced the tour for it, which starts on the 4th of November. And yes, she is coming to Dallas, and yes, I will probably be there. I don't have a ticket yet, but trust, I'll be there. Hey guys, this is Henry from the future. I just got back from the Dana Alden concert last night, and I found a Lexa Gates poster at Club Data where she's going to perform, and I thought that was pretty cool, and then I throw that in here. So anyways, continue. I think Lexa kind of embodies what I was mentioning again in the intro: simple beats, elite lyricism. Lexa's beats, or mainly her newer beats, sound like you found a jazz record, you put it on the sampler, chopped it up, and didn't add anything to it, just switch things around, and that was it. Which allows there to be a smooth, slow beat behind your vocals that allow your vocals to take full control. That's why I love this style of rap, because it's so easy to focus on the lyrics while also being entranced by whatever melody the producer or the artist has cooked up. Which she 100% fits into that category. Her lyricism is outstanding. So if I were to recommend a song by her for a first time listen, in my opinion, I say go listen to Lately Nothing. That's my favorite song by her. And then stay tuned for her album, man. Elite Vessel is gonna be... Elite Vessel is one of my most anticipated albums of this year for sure. But anyways, thank you, Lexa. Moving on. The next artist I have on here, apologies to the other people on this list, is definitely my favorite. This is YUNGMORPHEUS. Now, YUNGMORPHEUS has always been so interesting to me because I kind of found him off of a whim. There was a time where to discover new smaller artists, what I would do is I would go on Spotify and I'd go on the song radio of a song by someone who's already small, just to kind of like filter down and see who else I could find. And I don't remember who I was looking at the time. I think it was Mike or Mavi or something, but I remember there being the song Escovitch Fish by YUNGMORPHEUS on that radio, and I listened to it and it was crazy. Ever since then, I kind of became an instant fan, and I've been listening to his music ever since. The website Lex Records says, the rapper and producer born Colby Campbell has been on a prolific run in the last year, releasing 3 acclaimed collaborative projects with the producers Idris, Obijan, I hope I'm saying that right, and Theravada. I also hope I'm saying that right. Burnished Sums follows his latest, Up Against the Wall, by a matter of weeks, but this EP sees Morph in a more insular headspace. Everything I make is personal, but if it's somebody else on the beats, it's guided in a sense. I'm gonna be picking through beats and being like, oh, it sounds like this, maybe I feel like this, he says. But there are still a certain amount of colors I'm working with because I'm working with somebody else. It's like, boom, here's the paint, as opposed to now I'm going to the store to pick the paint out. That's like, oh, what colors do I like? Morpheus studied sociology at Boston College and knows firsthand how intellectual conversations can be bogged down with performative, exclusionary jargon. Rap music can be the same way, and Burnished Suns is an EP that consistently works on multiple levels. Whether you want to dig into every word or just sit back and let the music swirl around you like smoke off a freshly lit joint. Do you think YouTube will tweak out if I say the word joint? I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But that excerpt of that website kind of frames Young Morpheus in the best light possible. Young Morpheus is another artist where his lyricism is definitely the highlight of his songs, but his beats are something special. In the song Escovitch Fish, which I was mentioning earlier, it's almost like an old soul sample or R&B sample, but to complement all of it, there's this killer saxophone that's on there that I'm not sure if he added or was just already part of the song, but that beat is insane. Another one of my favorite songs by him is Self-Sponsored, where the beat almost sounds like, the best way I can describe it is someone chopping up music that you would hear if you were on hold, but in the best way possible. You really need to listen to the song to hear what I'm saying, and I wish I could play it for you here, but it's outstanding. Those two songs that I mentioned came off his album From Whence It Came, which released on April 28th, 2023. But his musical career, at least on Spotify, spans all the way back to 2018. I'm not sure how his entire career has panned out. There's not too much information on this dude, but only 100,000 monthly listeners is one of the most insane things I've ever seen. This dude, on my opinion, is 100% on the talent level of people in Griselda, and there just are not enough eyes on him. One of the best ways that I do my research is Instagram speculation, where I just go on people's Instagram and kind of try and figure things out. But he only started posting back in 2021, and majority of his posts are all just promos for songs and stuff like that. Another one of my favorite parts about Young Morpheus is his album artwork. A majority of his albums, or especially his newer albums, use art from Okio Ofumata. Again, apologies if I didn't say that right. But this dude's art is absolutely crazy, with some of it even being featured in the M+B Los Angeles Museum. This dude is different on every level. If you've never heard of him before and you're trying to figure out what to listen to, listen to either Self-Sponsored or Escovitch Fish first, and then listen to From Whence It Came, and then, if you really like him, go back and listen to his album States of Precarity that came out in 2021. That one is really good. If you listen to people like Mavi or Boldy James or all those people, you will like Young Morpheus. I could talk about him all day, but we're gonna keep going because we have a schedule to keep. Alright, rounding it all out with the smallest artist on this list. Not sure how, because he's great, but Kahlil Blu. With 78,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, Kahlil has been releasing music for a good while now. His Spotify career again goes all the way back to 2018, with his most recent song being released this year. But what he's mainly known for is his most popular album, Dog, which came out in 2020. Even with that amount of monthly listeners, his most popular song, Runway Talk, featuring Mavi, has 3 million streams on Spotify and deserves every single one of them. Now, a majority of this dude's Instagram is just pics and promo for stuff. So there's not much history, again, I can do. But what I just found out is that Young Morpheus actually liked the post that he made when Dog dropped in 2020. So, do they know each other? That would be awesome. Am I missing something? Possibly. Again, like I said, there's a lot of room for me to make some miscalculations, if you will. I think I found Kahlil the same way that I found Morpheus. I believe I was in the song radio for Mavi, and I came across Runway Talk, and I listened, and it was like the only song I listened to for like a whole week. It was crazy. I then listened to all of Dog and sat there and got mad at myself for not listening to music in 2020 like I should have. For context, this is what I was listening to in 2020. 3 of those are all Ace Attorney soundtrack people, so make of that what you will. Because I feel like if I had listened to this in 2020, it would have been a huge contender for Album of the Year. He's been dropping music very consistently. His latest single, Show Me a Body, which released literally like 2 days ago on October 4th. And I believe he's rolling out another album. I could be wrong, but I remember seeing it somewhere. Unless I'm spreading misinformation, that would be bad. But I think he's releasing another album. October 4th was also his birthday, so happy late birthday, Kahlil Blu. I love you. You make good music. I'd say he definitely resembles Mavi the most, in my opinion, with his style of production, but is also so different from Mavi in many ways. That's the thing I love about a lot of these artists, is that you can see clearly where their inspiration is from and where they got a lot of their ideas, but they're not just copying people. Everybody has their different quirks, everybody has their different production styles, everyone has their own stuff that they bring to the table, and I think that's so cool. If you're gonna listen to a Kahlil Blu song and you've never heard of him before, in my opinion, even though it's his most popular song, I say go listen to Runway Talk and then listen to Dog all the way through, because that's what's gonna get you hooked. Listen to the rest of his discography after that, but listening to Dog, just like it did with me, will get you hooked on Kahlil. Alright, I think that's gonna about do it for this one. All of these artists that I've talked about are all equally talented, and even though they are all so different from each other, they're all united under a few things. One, their style of rap, and two, the fact that they deserve more listeners. These people all have the talent of people who have 1 million plus monthly listeners on Spotify, and they 100% deserve that kind of success. And it's coming to them. I fully believe that. I fully believe that if these people stay consistent and keep doing what they're doing, the popularity will come to them. But having said that, that's not always what these artists are looking for. Fame, fortune, and having 1 million bajillion monthly listeners on Spotify is not always the end goal for some people. And if I were these guys, even if that's not what ended up happening with their music career, just knowing that this is the music they've released and the talent that they've had is already crazy enough. But with that being said, go listen to these guys. I'll link all of their info, their Spotify, their Instagram, stuff like that in the description, so you can go check it out if you want. And I think that's gonna do it. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate every single one of you guys. Like I said, 100 subscribers, even though it's not like a huge number in comparison to other people, it's so special to me, and I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. Reacting to Small Artists 2 will be coming out next week. So, you guys really enjoyed that video. Stay tuned for that one. It's gonna come quicker than you know it. Sorry. I've gotten a lot of great suggestions from you guys, and I keep getting more every day. So if there is still someone that you want me to look at, comment them. I'll add it to the list, and I'll kind of sort through which ones I feel like I want to cover. And if there's people who multiple people mention, then those are going to take priority. But again, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate all of you. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.